Good morning, everyone. This is Commissioner Scar. Today is Tuesday, August 12th, 2025, and we'll call this meeting to order at 8 a.m. As a reminder, our call-in number is 1-971-254-3149. Conference ID 866-914-607#. Before we get started, I'd like to remind everyone to mute their phone. You can do this by pressing *6. Please unmute yourself when called to speak, again pressing *6. It is very important for all others to remain muted. Thank you. Okay, we're going to start with our commissioner roll call, and I do know that Commissioner Fournier is unable to join us today, but I think Commissioner Bell is here with us this morning. Good morning.
Good morning. I am here, but I need to let you know that I'm going to be en route to my next meeting during this call. So I hope that when it's my turn to speak, I can just pull over and talk. But if I'm somehow in a dead zone, you'll know what happened.
Okay, no worries. No worries. Thank you for that. Okay, we're going to jump in we'll jump in as usual with Adventist Health Tillamook. Eric Swanson.
Hey, good morning, Commissioner.
Good morning.
We have 9 patients in the hospital today. Surgery had a busy day yesterday, 10 surgery cases. Ambulance crews did 4 911 transports, 1 transfer, no transports home. 69 patients boarding in emergency departments across Oregon. That's 12 less than yesterday. 260 discharge delays, 19 less than yesterday. It was great to see all of you at the Tillamook County Fair. For those of you who did win prizes, when I came in this morning, I saw a electric bike, an e-bike that's sitting in our office area that still hasn't been claimed. If you did get a phone call or text from us, please stop by the hospital, come up to admin on the 3rd floor and pick up your prize. Let's see, what else can I tell you? Oh, we're going to have an open house for dialysis. I think the date is October 23rd, but we'll let you know more about that as we go, as the date gets closer. So I think that's all I've got for you, unless you've got questions for me.
Thank you, Eric. Appreciate that. Any questions? Okay, not hearing any. We will go ahead and roll right along to our Coastal Caucus, and I know that Senator Weber is with us this morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Nice to be here. The fair is over, but let me tell you, I had a wonderful time at the fair. I really appreciate everyone, all of the volunteers that works through the fair. I especially want to call attention to Shauna Thorpe and Chris Shirk, who worked with me to provide food for the fair board, the volunteers, the dog house, the paramutual, the cleanup guys, the crow's nest, all of those people who were so faithful about volunteering or being paid to work at the fair and making it the wonderful fair it was. You know, there's always room for improvement, but you know what, folks? If you see things that need to be improved or changed, step up, volunteer, be part of that crew, because it is so much fun. We had so many laughs. We were able to provide good food, good homemade food for folks. And we were able to see, friends and relatives that we hadn't seen in a long time. And it was just a joyous occasion. So I know there are things that we can change, but you know what? You have the opportunity to go to work to be able to help to make those changes and make it better if you see fit. I also want to congratulate everyone who participated in the livestock auction. I was not able to attend this year, but I want to thank all the young people who sent me letters and notices of their sales. I'm sorry I wasn't able to be there, but it sounds like you all did very well. And it was it was one of those fairs where we had a little bit of everything for everyone. We had rain, the opening was very subdued, but the vocal of the Star Spangled Banner in the skating rink was just stunning. Those ladies, I didn't get their names, do an absolutely marvelous job. And so here we go again. We'll do it again next year. It'll be even more fun. I especially want to appreciate the county commissioners, being able to see them working so hard, giving their volunteer time to the fair also. Thank you. It was well received, being able to see you and communicate with you in all kinds of places and areas where you were doing a great job. I did have a few meetings last week that I was able to fit in, and I started my meetings off yesterday morning with Judge Guptill talking about some issues in our courts and things that we have to address. And it's an interesting challenge that we have, especially when all of our judges especially are elected, to be able to navigate that whole system and understand it and know what's best for the people who are involved in it, either positively or negatively. So working on some judicial issues. Today, I get to go to Banks. I have a full day of meeting with fire chiefs and with Representative Darcy Edwards and with constituents in that area with their concerns. And I'm anxious to meet with them and see them. Another thing I want to bring up is that we are members of two important organizations, COLPAC and Northwest ACT, and they're going to be meeting this Thursday in St. Helens. It's the same day that I get to go to the Historical Society Vault and tour that. And so I'm hoping to be able to make it to the vault, to the tour, and to the two meetings. But if I don't, it'll be okay. Anyway, I had a wonderful long chat with Representative Gomberg yesterday. He and I keep in close contact, seeing as how he is, in Lincoln City. He's our neighbor, and he is also President Pro Tem, Speaker Pro Tem of the House. And so there's a lot of issues that we share and concerns that we work on. And one of the things that we're working on right now, in addition to the special session, is that we are working on our Coastal Economic Summit, which will be in Coos Bay this year in September 25th. And more information will be circulated on that. It's always an opportunity to network and to learn more about the economic health of the coastal area. And so that's something we're going to work on in earnest right now. Lots of good breakouts and presentations are being planned. And then, of course, there's always the reception that features all of the food that we produce here on the coast. And people enjoy that also. So I think that that's all I have for today. I'm back to work. Vacation is over, and we'll make the best of it. So thank you.
Thank you, Senator. And I think if vacation was your time at the fair, you need to redefine vacation.
It was that was my vacation. I've got to get to Canada to see my brother, but because of the wildfires, I can't get to where he is.
Oh no!
And he is he's not long for this world. He's had several setbacks and strokes, and he's had to have been moved around a lot because of the smoke and all of that in the north, and how it's impacting all of Manitoba. And so I'm just hoping that there's a way that I can get to see him before he passes. So that's what I'm aiming for. But in the meantime, life goes on, and I've got to take care of what is happening. So here.
Right.
So
Sorry to hear that, and I do hope that when you can get out of here, you just take off out of here. The rest of the world will wait. Family first.
You're right.
So
thank you.
all right. Thank you for being with us this morning. Okay, I do not see Representative Javity's phone number on my list. So if you are there, Representative, please unmute and give me a shout. Okay, not seeing him. We will continue on with the Tillamook County Community Health Center. Good morning, Camille.
Good morning, everyone. August is National Civility Month. Anytime is a great time to focus on treating others with kindness and respect. National Civility Month encourages us to reflect on our behavior and communication styles, keeping in mind best practices for treating others, from family members to strangers, with dignity and respect for a kinder, more peaceful world. We could also always use that reminder. We wanted to share that we are seeing an increased number of bat encounters reported with household pets and humans. Although they are helpful creatures that keep the bugs away, some bats are infected with rabies. People and animals can get rabies from bat bites and infected saliva in an open wound. If you find a bat outside of your home, you should avoid contact. As soon as a grounded bat is found, it should be isolated to prevent further contact with people and animals. If you can safely isolate the bat without touching it, like covering it with a pail, coffee can, or other container, and place a heavy object such as a brick or rock on top of it, you can safely remove it from the area with appropriate protective equipment. If you find a bat inside your home and are certain there was no contact with a person or pet, close the room and close closet doors, open the windows, and watch until it leaves. If you have been bitten or scratched by a bat, seek immediate medical treatment and call your local environmental health office at 503-842-3943. If the bat has been captured and is dead with the head intact, you should double bag the bat and place it in a cooler, not in direct contact with ice. If the bat is unavailable, you will want to go to the closest emergency room and start the rabies vaccine series. Remember that Oregon Public Health Lab will only test bats when a human exposure has occurred. Please do not catch bats that have not come into contact with humans to have them tested. We do not test if there is no human exposure. Do not handle bats or other wild animals, especially those that appear sick or injured. Vaccinate your pets, including indoor-only animals from rabies. If your animal has caught a bat and brings it home, get your animal a booster rabies shot as soon as possible. Make sure your windows and doors have screens that do not have holes in them. If you think you have bats roosting in your attic or are finding their way in, please call a professional company to help seal up or remove the bats from your home. You can find more information about bats by visiting Tillamook County Environmental Health's website at tillamookchc.org/environmental health/animal bites. And although our recent heat our hot temperatures seem to have passed, we want to remind people that heat safety for those who may travel inland or to other areas experiencing high temperatures. Extreme heat can seriously affect the health of infants, children, and older adults, especially with those who live or work outdoors, have low incomes, or have chronic medical conditions. Heat-related illnesses can happen inside or outside in as little as 10 to 15 minutes. Heat exhaustion can cause dizziness, sweating, nausea, and more. Heat stroke, which is even more dangerous, includes those symptoms as well as body temperatures above 103 degrees, severe headache and confusion, loss of consciousness, and can rapidly lead to death. People can avoid heat-related illnesses by keeping up to date on the heat risk and heat index. Heat-related illnesses can develop in as little as 15 minutes when someone is indoors or outdoors. Some heat-related illnesses can be managed at home or at urgent care. However, if you or someone you see is experiencing confusion or unconsciousness due to heat exposure, call 911. The Oregon Health Authority offers these tips for staying safe and healthy during extreme heat events. Stay in air-conditioned places if possible, and limit sun exposure during the hottest parts of the day that are typically between 10 a.m. and 5 p.m. Schedule outdoor activities in the early morning or late evening. People who don't have air conditioners can find cooler indoor air with friends or family at designated cooling centers when available. And use cool compresses, misting, cool showers and baths, and wear loose-fitting, lightweight, and light-colored clothing. Make sure you drink plenty of fluids, especially when working outside. Avoid alcohol or liquids with large amounts of sugar and limit your caffeine intake. And please never leave children or pets unattended in your parked cars. You can learn more about the warning signs for heat illnesses at healthoregon.org/heat. This month, Tillamook County Community Health Centers is celebrating 30 years as a federally qualified health center. We received our FQHC designation in 1995 when we were selected by the federal government to receive special funding to provide comprehensive, high-quality, accessible care, including medical, behavioral, and dental health to anyone who needs it, regardless of ability to pay. From our humble beginnings in the county courthouse basement to a modern network of clinics and services, we are continuing our work to promote and protect the health of all people in Tillamook County. We invite interested folks to visit our website at www.tillamookchc.org and click on the About Us tab at the top to learn more about our history of delivering healthcare in the county. And finally, we want to invite everyone to our event for International Overdose Awareness Day. We will be participating with a special event on August 22nd at the Blue Heron from 3 to 7 p.m. People of all ages are welcome to enjoy free food, Narcan training, community connection, healing, and more. And we hope to see everyone there. That is all we have for today.
Thank you, Camille. Okay, we will move on then to the Nehalem Bay Health Center and Pharmacy. Gail Nelson.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
Well, now it's getting closer to October 4th, but just another reminder that October 4th from 1 to 4 p.m. is the date for the ribbon cutting and community open house for the new facility that's being constructed. In the meantime, flooring is being completed and final inspections have started, and we're also watching interior signage being installed. And otherwise, just a reminder also, our clinic hours are daily, Monday through Friday, 8 to 6 p.m. And our pharmacy is open from 9 to 5:30 p.m. And we're also open during lunch. And that's it for my update from Wheeler. Hope everyone's having a wonderful week.
Thank you, Gail. Okay, Tillamook Family Counseling is unavailable today, so we will move on to emergency management with Randy Thorpe. Good morning, Randy.
Good morning, Commissioner. Well, I just wanted to make sure that everybody remembers that the road along the Miami Foley Road will be closed today for some bridge construction, and that closure is from the milepost 7.5 at Dry Creek to milepost 8.7 at Crystal Creek. And so just be aware of that and adjust your travel plans accordingly to that. So, because that road will be closed through the day, and hopefully this will be the end of that, and we will have a nice road and everything will be great from here on out. The other thing, kind of to follow up with Gail, is that I want everybody to be extremely cautious when they're out having fun in the woods and around, because the fuels out there are extremely dry and can ignite quite rapidly out there. So we need to be extremely cautious if we're using any type of open flame or, with campfires or whatever out there, because we do not want our Tillamook forest to burn. So just be extremely careful out there. And of course, the state, we're moving into the peak fire season, which is August and September. So we're not out of the woods yet. We still got another month or so. Also, just Tillamook County is still considered in drought status according to the National Drought Monitor. And it doesn't look like we're going to get a whole lot of precipitation through the next week or so. So I think we'll continue in that drought scenario on that. Just remember, open burning is prohibited in most of the areas throughout the county. And just a little bit about statistics. Acres burned to date in the state of Oregon is 195,000 acres. And the total number of fires that our departments have responded to is 1,650. So we're a little lower than last year, but that's still a lot more than what we like to see on that. So, and then on the planning end of it, we're approaching the completion of our energy resiliency plan and our hazardous material response plan. And because those are wrapping up, we still want something to do. So we've started to work on the community wildfire protection plan. And that will be going on for the next probably 12 to 18 months to get that completely finished up and in the books on that. So with that, I'll turn it back to Commissioner Scar.
All right. Thank you, Randy. Appreciate that. Okay, we're going to move on to our Board of Commissioners, and I do see that Commissioner Bell is with us on the phone, so I'm going to give her a second and see if she is ready to report out. I know she said she was. Good morning, you are. Wonderful.
Thank you. Well, I'd like to just take a minute to talk about the fair, a little fair debrief, and to thank everyone. You know, the fair could not happen without the work of dozens of people, hard work. There are people who take off their entire weeks in order to work at the fair, all kinds of volunteers, including our outstanding fair board. Shout out to the fair board. And to the brand new fair board member, Tim Emerson, who we just appointed a few weeks ago. So he really hit the ground running, and he was learning on the job in a big way. He was super helpful. It was delightful to have him there. Thanks to Cami Von Segern, our longstanding fair director, who does such a good job. You know, it's a huge job as an event. All of the moving parts of the fair are really, it's extraordinary, really, to watch Cami at work and see her handling all of those moving pieces. And for the most part, everything stays right on track. And so it was wonderful. It was great to have so many visitors, out of town visitors, because the fair got a lot of widespread promotion this year because it's the 100 years of the Pig and Ford anniversary. So that was delightful. And the commissioners work at the fair. For folks who don't know, we all work at the fair every day. We do all kinds of jobs. And so that was really fun. We had, I did a couple shifts at the Parks booth. Tillamook County Parks had a booth for the second year. And I just want to congratulate the Parks team for putting together an outstanding booth. And in particular, Gene Henderson, who's a longtime Parks staff person, maintenance person, who brought his own 1926 Model T coupe to the fair. And they had an exhibit about 100 years of camping. And it was just outstanding, so creative. And Randy Thorpe, who was just on the call, had a terrific emergency preparedness booth that was great. And all kinds of community groups came, and folks from the state came, folks from Oregon Office of Resilience and Emergency Management came, and there were people there doing surveys about our energy resilience, and that was terrific. It was the first time that I'm aware of that emergency management had a booth, so that was terrific. And also our new chief medical death investigator was there, talking with people about her job and what it means. And that is a fascinating program. We should have her on this show as a guest, this call rather, as a guest in the future so that she can explain to the community what she's doing, because there will be a time when she'll be ready to accept help from volunteers and provide training. And I was thinking about the fair exhibits. The fair exhibits were great, and I felt like I was celebrating that the fair has finally recovered from COVID. And that's how it seemed to me, that during COVID, the fair, like everything else, suffered, and people got out of the habit of exhibiting things. And it seemed like the exhibits were really robust again. And so it filled my heart to see everybody's fabulous work. The land products was amazing. That display was amazing. And, you know, the things that people grow, the fabulous flowers, when you walk into the pavilion and you can smell the flowers from everywhere in the pavilion, and they were so beautiful, and all the artwork and the kids' artwork. It was really just a joyful celebration of our community. It seemed like there were more animals in the barn, gorgeous cows, and I love that, just hanging out in the barn, seeing the cows and the kids who are working with their animals. So really, it was a heart-filled week and a celebration of our community. So I want to thank everyone who worked on the fair, and I will stop there. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Commissioner. And I will just chime in as well. The fair was amazing, as it always is. It was a great opportunity to be out there and just talk to people, both local residents who wanted to share their thoughts about various county issues, as well as finding out how many visitors we have from other areas, even other states, that come to our fair. Some of them because they've planned it and they, you know, have traveled from far away from it to attend, and others who were passing through and saw the sign and thought, well, let's check it out. But to a person, they said, this is how a county fair should be. This is what people come for. They want to see the animals. They want to have the rides. They want to have all the crazy food. It is what a county fair should be. And many, just shared that this county fair was so much better than where they lived. So we have, and I say we, meaning we as a community, led by the Fair Board and our amazing fair director, have kept something alive and kicking, and not only kicking, but thriving, that many communities lament that they have lost, which is this really robust county fair. So thank you to everyone who attended. It certainly wouldn't be a robust county fair if people didn't participate. And it was, like I said, a joy to be out there all week. I had the opportunity to work in the Working Lands and Waters booth, which is a group that I'm a part of here. And actually, after this call, I'll be right back on the radio talking about the Working Lands and Waters booth at the fair, the experience, the fun we had talking to people, as well as our upcoming Working Lands and Waters tour. So more to come. If you're interested in that, tune back in at 9:30. Pam Zweifel and I will be talking about those two pieces of Working Lands and Waters. And then in addition to that, I had the opportunity to sell racing programs for a shift, and largely my time was spent selling Pig and Ford merchandise. So I'm sure that all of you on this call are familiar with Pig and Ford, since it's, you know, very, very well known and well attended in our community. But they had some 100-year t-shirts made this year, and I will tell you what, those were a hot commodity. We were out of them mostly by the end of Thursday, had just a few trickling into Friday. So people were super excited to celebrate 100 years of the Pig and Ford. So I'm sure that people will be excited for 101 next year, but it was really fun. The break that I did take from the fair was on Thursday morning to attend our Housing Commission meeting. Our Housing Commission has been working with consultants to do a housing needs assessment. We did one of these last in 2019, so this was really fun to do an updated H&A and get a sense of, are things changing? Have we moved the dial? And what was really cool is that the housing dial has moved in two different ways in Tillamook County that are beneficial to having housing for people who want to live and work here. The first one is just the number of units that we've added of housing. So we've added 180 units of housing out of a backlog previously of over 650. So we've got a ways to go. We're not there, but we are adding housing units. And where we could see that was in the report. There are fewer people who are housing cost burdened. which housing cost burden is when you spend more than 30% of your income on your rent or your mortgage. And we saw the numbers dropping of people who were housing cost burden. So that means with more housing available in the right income range where people can afford it, fewer people are paying way too much for their housing. Again, we haven't solved that by any means. We have a long way to go, but we have begun to move the dial, and it was exciting to have data show us where that dial had moved. The other one that was really interesting was that in terms of short-term rentals, while this is not action of the Housing Commission specifically, it is action of the county commissioners, and across our cities, we're seeing similar actions being taken where short-term rentals are being capped, where we're saying we love this industry and it is a vital part of our economy. And we want to have a balance where people who live and work here can also have housing. According to the data of our consultants, 800 houses flipped from a vacant home, meaning a vacation or a short-term rental, to a full-time occupied home, which means either somebody bought it or is renting it. So we are seeing a bit of a shift in that direction in our county. So again, just data is super helpful because it can be hard to feel that if you're someone who's looking for housing right now, can still feel very tight, can still feel like there's nothing there, but there are movements happening in our housing market that are a response to actions taken by either the addition of housing, which is part of it, and that just capping the short-term rentals and saying, again, it's a vital part of our economy, but it's a piece we need to hold right now. There are people who are shifting back the other direction with their properties. So, or properties that are being able to be purchased for not vacant purposes, which is fantastic for our community. So again, hang in there. This is a long-term process. There's much more to do, but housing is beginning to shift. So I look forward to finalizing that study and making it available to the community. So those were just some sneak peeks into the housing study. With that, I'm going to go ahead and end my report, and we're going to move on to our cities. And I see that we have Mayor Stock from Manzanita on the call.
Yes, this is Manzanita. I was paused a second to get unmuted. Good morning. Thank you for the stats, the Commissioner Scar, on the housing. That's been a question people have been asking here in the community, and it's good to have some numbers to start to share. And we look forward to doing more of that with you and with the commissioners and the county in the fall and on as you further the work on the analysis that'll be happening for housing. And we're really looking forward to that further study and further facts and data to back up some of the policy changes that we're looking at. I wanted to send just a brief thank you also to you and Sarah Absher for joining us this last week at a community meeting we had in our city hall. We had about 50 people show up who had things they wanted to say and things they wanted to learn about changes that we're going to be making to our housing ordinances here in Manzanita. So it is a lively topic, and it's great to get the community input, and it's great to have people come and express what they're thinking and what they're feeling, and also people who want to get more information and become better educated about some of the changes. So we appreciated everybody who showed up for that, and you and Sarah attending to give a brief update on why Tillamook County is included with some mandatory changes in the state that are primarily, or at least most people think of as belonging to large cities. So thank you, that was very helpful. We are continuing the work and the dialogue and the council work on our housing ordinances. We have a workshop today with council. It'll be our first live workshop that we're able to do again now that we are in a city hall with a functioning public building. So that's terrific, and I'm looking forward to seeing our counselors this afternoon, where we are going to continue the work on understanding what the community is asking for, what our planning commission has recommended, and how we want to move forward with that. So more to come. I'd also like to give a shout out to the hardworking people here who are serving on our community advisory committee for our comprehensive plan. They'll be meeting with staff and part of the council today to talk about next steps, and we're looking forward to an event in the fall where we're going to be talking about our ocean beaches and some of the other more, natural resource oriented chapters of the comprehensive plan. And that's something that's very near and dear to people up and down the coast. And I think our community will be really interested in having a say and learning also about what our strategy should be, and also just what our comprehensive plan statements are going to be about the vision we have for our community for the future. And that's it from Manzanita. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. And it was wonderful to be able to be up there in your new city hall. That is a fantastic building. And as I shared at the meeting, it's really, really great group of people in the room. Sometimes when you have a public meeting, people are there to say they just want to have their say, but it may or may not be directed to what's being talked about, and it may or may not be relevant to something you can actually address. And I really felt like your residents who attended had done their homework and they really understood what was being talked about, and they had exceptional input. So I really appreciate when community meetings really move forward the topic, and I just felt like yours did. So thank you for having that. Thank you for inviting us.
You're welcome.
Okay, moving on, I have Mayor McNeely from Rockaway Beach.
Good morning.
Good
Can you
morning.
hear me now?
We can.
All right. I want to begin by just mentioning that ODOT crews implemented a speed zone change in our downtown business district, lowering the limit from 30 miles per hour to 20 miles per hour. This is definitely a welcome change. A shout out to Mayor Chick and Nehalem, which led the charge in doing the same thing, and it opened up the door for Rockaway Beach to make that request and have it implemented. And then, of course, certainly given the challenging budget times, we appreciate how quickly ODOT completed this change for us. Last week, Emergency Management upgraded its communication equipment and activated a Starlink account. The system has been tested and is operational, and this equipment is intended to improve response capability in the event of a disaster. Another example of what a tremendous fire department emergency response team we have here in Rockaway Beach that we all very much appreciate. Last Tuesday, the fire department responded to a water rescue at the beach near the St. Mary's access point. Chief Hesse observed 4 individuals approximately 100 feet offshore caught in a rip current. Fire department personnel assisted in bringing the individuals to shore. 3 required medical care and 2 were transported to the hospital for observation. Our summer crew continues daily beach patrols, provide public education on water and fire safety, but we are truly blessed to have Chief Hesse, Captain Grace, and the fire department and response team here in Rockaway Beach. Public Works Department completed the task of raising the city's water valves in coordination with the county paving project at the south end of our town. This was a significant undertaking, and we're pleased to report that everything went smoothly. Continuing with Public Works, they now have all the materials on hand for a Highway 101 culvert project and have notified Advanced Excavation, the lowest bidder, that they've been awarded the job. The project will see several 100 feet of drainage culvert replaced on the west side of Highway 101 near El Trio local restaurant. And then I just want to just a shout out and an appreciation and a thank you to all elected officials, whether it's county commission, local cities, special districts, boards. It's not always an easy job. It brings a level of scrutiny, a level of attention to who you are, what you do, what you say. And so I just want to simply say I appreciate all of you and all that you do to move our wonderful county forward. With that, back to you, Commissioner.
Thank you, Mayor. Okay, we will move on to Bay City. I believe Mayor Welch is with us today.
Good morning. This is Bay City. The first thing I like to do is thank our public works staff. We had a water main break that impacted the entire city of Bay City, and they fixed that in about 5 hours. And then we sent a Nixle working, our city manager, Dave McCall, worked with Randy Thorpe, and a Nixle report that went out. And I think it went out to more than the citizens of Bay City. So I heard that it went as far south as Neskowin and up north in Nehalem. So we're still working on that, but at least people knew that we were out of water, or we weren't out of water, but we had a water main break, and to conserve water until they got that fixed. I want to thank them. I also want to thank our fire department. They got a grant from Oregon State Fire Marshal to get an excavator. And so we've been clearing right-of-ways of ladder fuels, we are a Firewise community, and so we continue to reduce the fire ladders in our community. Tonight, we have a city council meeting at 6 p.m., so all are welcome. And on August 19th, which is a week from today at 5:30, we will have a appeal before the city council of a planning commission decision on a subdivision. So that will happen next week. And then I'd also like to include or invite the entire community to the Pearl and Oyster, Festival, August 23rd and 24th. We'll have music, vendors, and then on Sunday is the Family Day. So all are welcome and hope to see you there. That's my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Okay, I don't see Sean from the city of Tillamook today. Double check, make sure I'm not missing a phone number. Nope, doesn't look like it. So with that, I would like to thank everyone for attending today. I'd like to thank KTIL for broadcasting, and we will adjourn this meeting at 8:41 a.m. Have a great day, everyone.